Alright, in this video I wanted to talk about the Clever Disguise Misc. Um, it is available currently in today's event. I believe I can't remember if it's Blarney. I think it's Blarney from 2 years ago, I think, maybe 3. But while it's available, I would recommend, even if you're not a Beastmaster, I would recommend getting it. It is probably, in my opinion, probably top 5 Misc in the entire game. For Beastmasters, it's phenomenal. It allows you, for those that don't know, you equip it. It gives you plus 40 charisma, plus 40 luck. That comes in handy if you are a lucky beast mage. Plus 40 on both is going to really help your status inflictions with your pets and guests. And then you also have a plus 50 on both of those with the Soul Neko, so you're getting basically 340 to both charisma and luck. That is going to translate to some pretty good status inflictions, pretty good damage. But there's a number of ways that you can use it. When you click it, basically you skip your own turn, your player turn, and you give your pets and guests celerity. You can use it defensively. You can use it offensively. The different ways that you can use this Misc is pretty substantial. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a couple defensive ways that you can use it. You can use it for fear, daze, choke, in a number of ways. So I'll just demonstrate really quick. I chose to forego, you have the Hydra, you have a water version and a darkness version. I've used it with Hydra before to stack daze. It gets ridiculous. If there was a daze eat item, I might switch to that, but you can stack panic, you can stack a number of ways defensively. And then you can also use it offensively. So these guys inflict choke based on ice resistance. So all I'm going to do is equip Clever Disguise, and you'll be able to see the defensive prowess of it. So the pet and guests going twice gave me 2 rounds, but usually when the amount of choke surpasses 0, it adds a round. So 0.007 damage. I mean, how insane is that? As you can see, there's 340 charisma and luck. That's going to, what's really nice about the Soul Neko is the BTH enhancers and the damage enhancers with your pets and guests. Now you're going twice, and then you're also inflicting burns and bleeds. So it's like you're playing offense and defense at the same time, doing something like this. And as you can see, 1 and 3 damage, I mean, that's ridiculous. And then we just had a 318 burn, not to mention the bleed that's there. And the bleed is building. And then obviously you have your 25% burn and bleed enhancements off of Soul Neko. You can toggle on. A lot of people think that the Neko armor is a defensive armor. It really isn't. Once you turn on the burn and the bleed, it starts to become offensive, to be honest with you. So it just lost 1100 damage to burn and bleed right now. It went from 3200 to 2100, all while stacking choke to the point of this monster's not going to do anything to me. And these numbers would be even higher if ice resistance was higher. Alright, so let's go to the next thing. So what we're going to do this time is the Bun Barretts. So Bun Barretts increase its blocking based on main stat and charisma. No, I think it's just charisma. So it doubles in effectiveness based on your charisma. Well, it also caps, kind of like booster pets, it caps at 300 charisma, so this is getting you to 290 in the toggle, so 300 charisma. So what you'll notice here, and actually I'm going to go ahead and switch to Titan's Fall for Dodge Lash. This will actually bring me up to 86.61, and as you can see, I just Dodge Lashed. You can bring this guy out and do the same thing. You're at 290, so it's still going to be like 85, I think, defensive boost. And then as you can see, it's even more Dodge Lash, and all you're doing is Clever Disguise, and it's getting you 85 blocking. Just by clicking it, you're just basically able to Dodge Lash versus probably 85% of the game. And that works well against monsters like this. These are all low resistances. So even like the choke that's based on elemental resistance and stuff like that, or any blinds that are based on that, would be less effective. So increasing your own blocking to play Dodge Lash would be the best way to go against a monster like this. They could still hit you as a Lucky Beast Mage. Like I've said before, you probably need about 100 and maybe 8 total blocking against a pure build at level 150. This is not a pure build. This is not level 150, so it's going to be lower. They might hit me occasionally, but it's not going to be very often. It would be reliable enough, as you can see. And they just kill themselves just by spam clicking Clever Disguise as a Lucky Beast Mage. Luck having changed from 6.25 blocking to 12.5 with the stat revamp is also assisting this. Alright, so I'm going to switch up again. Actually, Prime Chaos orbed myself out of. So I'm just going to do this for this round here. And then I'll switch. Alright, so Creature 72 has a Fear mode and a Panic mode. Alright, so we got Fear mode and Fear mode. And it will increase based on darkness, so I only have 110 here. So we got one round at 81.4. Two rounds at 94.9. So as you can see, three rounds at 98, so it just continues to build. And then you can switch to Panic mode, and then spamming Clever Disguise. Now we have the Fear, and now we have 5% Panic, which is only 5% damage. Less reliable than doing Choke because of the charisma save from the monster. But when you have 340 charisma and 340 luck, you could also do Unapoka that would also increase the chances of it staying long term. And as good as Clever Disguise is, I feel like it's even better in a Lucky Beast Mage Soul Neko, because you're stacking your charisma and you're stacking your luck, and I think you become better as you stack, and that's the point of the Clever Disguise. You're stacking your effect, you're stacking your fear, you're stacking your panic. In this case, you're stacking your choke. It's basically the same concept as a lot of the damage stacks that people have. And as you notice, I don't think he attacked me once the whole time. So there's that. So I've shown you some choke stacks, some fear stacks, some panic stacks, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to switch to a couple damage stacks. First one I'll show off. I think people, this is my main combo, but people already, I usually use this with hyper crit, but just equipping Frostville Crown and just going this route. But just to show you how strong this can be, you give your panic and then you got some pretty strong pet damage, and you'll notice a difference. Without the panic, it's a lot lower. And there you have that. Alright, so I'm going to go to a different stack. This one I've done a video on before, but I just wanted to kind of revisit it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to summon Grakma, and this is going to be Elivon stacking. And then I'm going to wield Independence Dagger, so you'll get like 5.14% Elivon per landed hit of your guests and your pets. And then I'm going to do my Silas, which does a dual darkness and fire Elivon. And the thing about the Elivon is that the second round will basically be doubling the Elivon, and I'll explain that here shortly. So you got 110 on fire and then 167 there on fire and darkness. I thought this guy had a toggle. Oh yeah, here we go. So now we got 210, and as you can see, you got a couple lines here. They both say 0 rounds, but they will remain through this process here. So they're added to the new lines being added, and as you can see, the damage is just melting off. 1,080 from the pet. That was not a lucky strike. That was just because of, that was just simply due to the multiple stacks. $205, hit that up to 210 because of holding the armor, the dagger. So we have 167 to both fire and darkness, plus 221 for the fire, 2,816 hit points, and you're just going to watch this just melt away here. $13.31, $15.09. I mean, that gets crazy, and that's just because of the Elevon stacking that takes place. Alright, just to show, this is only versus 100% fire here. The guest here will only, I think it has a 50% attack rate. Looks like one of the Elevons didn't land this time. And the thing about doing these stacks with the same element, because it's inflicting burn, if you notice, there's a fire burn, but that fire, that 2.81 power, is taking on that extra damage due to the Elevon there. Actually, this guy's seeking darkness. I guess this guy. I'll do it one more time. Let's see if I can get it to where it's hitting against. Okay, we'll just do this guy like this. This will work. Usually that second round is extremely powerful. And if you notice, this fire based burn is going to be eating hit points away. Alright, so just wanted to showcase Clever Disguise for those that maybe didn't know about it, wondering about, is it any good? You can use it to dodge lash with. You can use it to stack defensive effects with. You can use it to do all kinds of things. I think it is probably top 5 Misc in the entire game. I think easily it is. Literally right now I'm just going to dodge lash this monster. It's going to cast a spell and probably eat itself for lunch here. Yep, all the way to 0 because I gave myself 85 blocking. And you can do that versus 85% of the game, just by stacking your effects by spamming Clever Disguise. Yeah, it's a little bit cheesy, but it's very powerful.